Hi everyone. Today I'll be reviewing "Low" by David Bowie, which is it's a 1977 album, the first of his legendary uh, Berlin trilogy. One of the best series of albums in experimental rock history. Uh, David Bowie is an artist I've only recently been introduced to. Of course, I've heard songs like "Under Pressure" and "Space Oddity" before, but I haven't gotten into a lot of his deeper cuts. This entire album, you could sort of say, is deep cuts. Even the big singles like "Sound and Vision," they don't really sound like singles. They're all sort of under like this layer of accessibility. Uh, but since I've only been recently been introduced to Bowie, I expect my opinions on a lot of his albums to differ, change a lot for in the coming months and years. Um, But yeah, I already think a lot of his stuff is great, and this is probably my favorite album right now. Of course, that'll probably change, like I said, in the future. There's a lot of other great stuff he's put out. Uh, but yeah, um, this album starts off with Speed of Life, which is this rather short. A lot of the songs on here are rather short. There's 11 songs spanning 39 minutes, so each of them are about 3 to 4 minutes, with some longer songs coming towards the end. But it starts off with the rather short Speed of Life, which I believe is around 2 minutes. And it sort of sounds like what you'd expect from Bowie, but there's these sort of descending, I'd almost say industrial, like the texture of the synths, but there's these descending synth lines all over it. It sounds really good, and I didn't even notice that Bowie wasn't singing on it. It's pretty impressive. His instrumental writing is top tier. Breaking Glass, you can sort of imagine it has similar instrumentation to Speed of Life, but completely different melodies and harmonies and everything. Structure, and Bowie actually does sing on this one, and his vocal performance throughout this album is very interesting to me. It's sort of like it's got quite a range to it, but it's always like this really weird, um, like I don't exactly know how to put it, but it's like I wouldn't say plasticky, though plastic definitely sounds like it was an aspect in it. It just sounds really good. A lot, very different from something like The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars. But yeah, it's great. After that is What in the World. This track, it's good while it's on, but I wasn't particularly interested in it compared to some of the other songs. Like I've said on my previous albums, this is sort of becoming a cliche in my reviews, but there's just some songs on these 9 out of 10 records that don't completely work for me. Of course, expected to change for me on with David Bowie's stuff as I go along. Following that is this nice, chill song, Sound and Vision. It's got these really nice, laid back guitar riffs, and sort of pan to your left ear is this little, like these little shots of static that come in about every measure, I'd say, and they're really nice. His vocal performance on here is really nice too. He's got the choruses, which I wouldn't really call choruses. There aren't there aren't very many traditional song structures on this thing, but he has these really nice backup vocals on them. When it's more of like a hook when he goes of sound and vision. It's really nice. Uh, Always crashing in the same car. I'm not too keen on the chord progression here. I think it's very standoutish, but some of the chords I think are a little bit like sour sounding. I'm pretty sure that wasn't intended, and I'm sure it'll grow on me with time. But other than that, it's a lot more dark than the previous couple of songs. It's got a couple of guitar riffs on there that I really like. And then we have Be My Wife. I don't know the lyrics of the song. I don't know. Whatever I say about most of the songs on these, pretty much any album I review, I'm not gonna be discussing the lyrics because lyrics don't really stand out to me. But Be My Wife has these really nice um, pianos, I think about every like four measures. They're really bassy, they're really prominent, and the guitars that go over them are also really nice. Even at the very end of the song, where there's this epic guitar solo, the pianos are still mixed over that, and I really like that they aren't just drowned out. The mixing is really good. And then I believe after that, yeah, A New Career in a New Town. So everything after this is instrumentals, and it's probably my favorite part of the album. The album sort of gets better as it goes on, I think. Not exactly, but like as you keep going down the track list, all the songs just keep getting better. And this final leg is like really, really great ambient music. But A New Career in a New Town has this harmonica on it. That's I really like it. It's almost bluegrassy. Definitely not like I wouldn't call it bluegrassy, but it sort of has that influence in it. Though it may just be because it's a harmonica, and I just associate that with bluegrass music. But it's great. And then my favorite track on here, Warzawa. It's difficult to pronounce, but it's really great. It's this sort of sad, or see, orchestral would be a strange way to put it because there's only a couple instruments and they're not like you'd see them in an orchestra, but like they don't form a complete orchestra sound. They're a little bit stripped back, and I really, really like them. They sort of play this sad sound to them, and there's these. There are vocals on some of these songs, but they're not like lyrical vocals. They're not like singing. They're more like I wouldn't say chanting either, but they're what's the way to describe them? They're sort of they're not very rhythmic. They mostly focus on tone, I guess is how I would put it. They're pretty long and held out. It sounds really great, and it's definitely grown on me a lot since I listened to the album, and I predict them to grow even further on me in the future. The following songs are all pretty similar, but that's not saying that they're unremarkable. It's just that they're all great ambient music, and part of what makes ambient music great is that you sort of have it playing in the background, and it goes with your experiences, and these do perfect there. But Art Decade basically builds on what Warzawa did with these really good synthesizers. Just to mention, the synthesizers here are really great, especially from the time period that they were in, 1977. They sound like they could come out of like the 80s or the 90s. They're really, really well done and well written. Weeping Wall, I also really like. Not too much to say. It sounds like the previous ones, except uh, like a little bit different. I don't have too much to say on it. It's still like one of my favorites. Not my favorite. That would definitely be Warzawa, but it's still really good. And then the album finishes with Subterraneans, which has these nice like bass rhythms playing in the background, really slow, and it's got the vocals on it again that I've talked about on like Warzawa. It's a really nice closer to the album. Overall, really love this album. Definitely give it a listen. I wouldn't say it's a great intro to David Bowie's discography. If I was looking for an entryway into Bowie's discography, I'd recommend something like the Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars, Aladdin Sane or Hunky Dory. Those are definitely more accessible. But if you have been a fan of David Bowie to this point, definitely give it a listen if you haven't already. That's pretty much all I have to say on this. Thanks for watching.